Hello organ students and welcome to the world of the organ. This is your first organ lesson. I think it'll be easier for me to do this online and show you some basic techniques that can get you started, and then of course we'll fine-tune these at your lesson this next week. So proper position at the organ differs from the piano primarily in the fact that you cannot firmly ground your feet into any firm surface. And so you need to be sitting further back on the bench itself. Do you see how my rear end is hanging a little bit over the back of the bench? And you're going to find that yours is probably going to have to do the same. The reason why we do this is because your legs are going to need, your thighs in particular, are going to need support, something to support them, since you won't be able to ground your feet into the floor. So how far to set the bench back? Well, on our practice instruments right now, we have, I would say, you should be able to extend your legs comfortably down to play the pedals so that your foot falls just right in front of the black keys here. You see how my leg just naturally comes down and just fits right down about here? You want to make sure that the bench height is such that you can, with your right heel, play a note and not feel any uncomfortable stretch along your calf, okay? That will help you know whether the bench is high enough. Our benches have blocks underneath them that help raise, or if there needs to be lower, you can just take them off. For just basic manual orientation, organ keyboards are referred to as manuals, like a book that you read. The lower manual on a 2-manual organ is called the grate. The upper manual is called the swell. The organ's stops are located in this organ here in my office to both the right and the left of the organ console. On the practice organ in 102A, McCain, they are a series of stop tabs that are just above the swell. Now, to play properly, ideally with the organ, there is no damper pedal as there is on the piano, and so every note that I play needs to be precisely played and then released. Ideally, we are shooting for a legato technique, which means that there is no space in between the notes. And at this point, we're not overlapping notes. We're searching for tone that begins as the other one ends. Okay? As order of stops to use, this is called a stop. The devices on an organ that produce the sound are called the stops. And we are looking for just a simple flute tone. The organ family of tone is divided into 4 families of tone. And this one is imitative of the flute. On the practice organ in 102A, this is labeled gedeckt, G-E-D-E-C-K-T. And this is a simple yet lovely tone. The 8 foot indicates that it plays at piano pitch. So if I were to go and play that F on a piano, I would get the same pitch. In the pedal, we have a pitch that is an octave lower, 16, and that is an octave, it sounds an octave lower than the manual. And so the pedal, of course, the pedal keyboard is where we play the bass line. Proper positioning of the foot in pedal playing is such that ideally with my organ shoes, I play a note on the toe, and I put my foot so that about the ball of my foot up to the toe is resting comfortably here on the pedal. You'll notice that as I play, I'm using my ankle to engage my foot. I'm not using my whole leg like this. This is just a lot of unnecessary motion. Notice how my foot is tipped slightly towards the center of the pedal board. It's not just placed out flat like that, but it's tipped in. With my left foot, it'd be the same. My knees can be left, simply in their natural position. There's no need to hold them together in any way, but just to let them hang free and loose. I should be sitting nice and upright, lengthening my spine, not just compressed down like this, to give myself as much height as possible. When playing the organ keyboards, there is no need at the piano to use lots of heavy arm or finger action, since that will cause us troubles, but to simply just use moderate finger action, maybe slight bit of arm action to help us, but don't be too aggressive. This is essentially the beginning of our organ playing experience. In your pedal exercises that you're going to be given, they are going to test the interval of a fifth. One note will remain stationary, the other one will remain moving up or down by step. When playing notes right next to each other, one foot may fit under the insole or in the insole of the other, and you might be able to play like this. There's no need to have your feet be right next to each other. In playing with the manuals, with our lovely hymn trios that you'll be introduced, we are looking for simple legato. Both hands will be played on the same manual. When I Survey the Wondrous Cross could be played on 2. Or on 1. The Jesus Christ is risen today. Etc. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me. We will go over these exercises and any other questions that you have about the organ at your next lesson. Look forward to seeing you next week. Happy practicing.